Well, everyone, I am in Portsmouth, Ohio. There's the river I just crossed, the bridge. You can see the Appalachians rising in the background. This is downtown, so I'm going to explore a little bit. They do have a marker here. Take a look at it real quick. But it denotes its role in the Underground Railroad long ago. Underground Railroad was neither underground nor a railroad, but a system of loosely connected safe havens where those escaping the brutal conditions of slavery were sheltered. Yeah, this was one of the bigger spots on the Underground Railroad. People would cross the river that I just showed you from Kentucky. Former slaves be sheltered here, and from here on they would go north. Now, Portsmouth in the early 1900s was a major manufacturing city here in the United States. At the time, it was the fourth largest manufacturer of shoes in this country. Additionally, it was the #1 manufacturer of fire and paving bricks in the United States. All told, there were over 100 companies manufacturing items right here in this town. Anything from car parts to furniture to toys, clothing, it was all made here. But as you see so many times, especially in this part of the country, the manufacturing collapsed, jobs went overseas, and the city has struggled a bit ever since then. Now, at its manufacturing peak in the early 1900s, 1930 in fact, the population here was almost 43,000. Today there are 18,000 people here. That's over half the population of the town gone. But you can see signs of life here. I've read that they're putting a lot of work into the downtown and renovating it. You can see it in a lot of spots. I'm going to show them to you. I'll just continue to explore here. In 2019, Hallmark called this one of the hometown Christmas towns. And this town has a couple of Christmas records in the Guinness Book of World Records. I will tell you about those here shortly. So they take Christmas very seriously here. In 2020, Portsmouth was designated an All-America city. Let's see, Dollar Building. Daehler. It's built in 1899. It is sitting here empty. I hate to see that. That is a beautiful building. Hopefully they can renovate that at some point. I'm on one of the main streets here in town. By the way, it's December 1, a Friday. It's about 9:30 in the morning. It's pretty chilly. 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 Celsius. I do love all the Christmas decorations they have here. There's a flood wall there. That's the Ohio River on the other side. I'll go down there shortly. See what else they have here. This is great, isn't it? Now, something you may not know about Portsmouth is this. One of the first professional football teams in the U.S. was right here in this town. 1930 they formed. They were called the Portsmouth Spartans. Now the Spartans, well, they struggled a bit. And in 1934, a radio station owner from Detroit bought the team, moved them up to Detroit, and renamed them, you've probably guessed it, the Detroit Lions. Now they really love Christmas here. That is evident. You see Christmas decorations everywhere. More so than a lot of towns that I've seen. They actually hold a couple of records. As promised, I'll tell you what those are. The first record: most people simultaneously Christmas caroling. That is a world record that this town holds. 822 carolers. That is in the Guinness Book of World Records. Also, they hold the world record for most people simultaneously wrapping Christmas presents. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is a Grinch vehicle. I was like, something happened to Santa's sleigh here. But that's on purpose, isn't it? How about that? That is awesome. Anyway, they also hold another world record here, even though it's not Christmas. And that is the most people simultaneously potting plants. Yes, they hold that world record as well. Yeah, this is the flood wall. The Ohio River is on the other side. And they have murals painted all along it. Portsmouth, 1903. Yeah, they've got a real big one here. Looks like it shows a picture of the town. I would guess late 1800s. It's pretty awesome, isn't it? I'm glad the street's quiet because I'm walking around in the middle of it. So let me give you a good look at everything. Here's a mural depicting their history as a shoe manufacturer. Now here's a mural depicting the Spartans football team I told you about, the professional team. Let's see, we got a little bit of information here. The Spartans were admitted to the NFL in 1930. The first night football game in the NFL was played between the Spartans and the Brooklyn Dodgers. The first NFL championship game and the first indoor football game was played in December 1932 between the Portsmouth Spartans and the Chicago Bears. Wow. This mural appears to depict Portsmouth in its heyday, 1930s I would guess, when it hit its peak population. Let's see, the progress of education in the Portsmouth, Ohio area. They do have a university in this town. It's a small one. Yeah, there it is, Shawnee State University. According to this mural, Portsmouth has the nation's oldest cycling club, established 1893. That I did not know. The picture is from 1913. It's a long horizontal picture there. Yeah, the flood wall ends here, as does the murals. Should be able to get a look at the Ohio. Yep, there it is. The Ohio River. That is Kentucky on the other side. The sun is shining right at me. Hopefully you can see the bridge that I crossed earlier. Now let me zoom in on that again. Yeah, you do see some of this abandoned home. It is really quiet, I'll say that. Well, let's see, as I make my way back towards downtown, let's get into the nitty-gritty, shall we? What are the numbers of this town? I've already told you the population was 18,000, down from 43,000 in 1930. That was almost 100 years ago. Look at this though. Total awesomeness. A Dairy Cream. They really have done a fantastic job of renovating this part of downtown. It is so beautiful. Looks like we got a manger scene here. Nativity scene. Nice, right? Okay, 85% of this town is white, 6% is black, 3% is Hispanic, 1% is Asian, last 5% is mixed race. The median household income here is $34,200 a year. That's $660 a week. About half what it is in the U.S., actually a little less. For the U.S. as a whole, it is $74,000. Poverty, it's pretty high. 35% overall. For children 17 and under, it is 50%. That is extremely high. That's the third highest in the state of Ohio. For folks 65 and older, it is 20%. All those numbers are 3 times higher than the U.S. as a whole, the U.S. averages. Now, what's the cost of living? It's 15% lower overall, mostly because of housing. Housing is 55% lower. The median home value of this town is $79,300. That is quite low, especially compared to the U.S., which is over 300,000, 320,000 roughly. Transportation is 25% higher. That's interesting. Groceries are 1% higher. Healthcare is 2% higher. So there are some things that are still higher, even though the overall is lower. The overall is lower because of housing. That's mainly the reason why. Crime is a little high. 30 incidents per 1,000 people. For the U.S. as a whole, it's 23. 26 of those 30 are property crimes. 4 of them are violent. And I was reading there were 3 murders here in the latest report. So wow, 3 murders in a town of 18,000. Well, I'm just walking around the town, downtown area. It's really quiet. It's kind of eerie, especially being a Friday, about 10 a.m. now. Now, Portsmouth is the county seat for Scioto County. That is the county courthouse. That is a massive, beautiful building. It was built in 1925. Neoclassical architecture. So it's got some cues from ancient Greece and Rome. Lines are a little smoothed out. Of course, the idea is to be grand. And certainly it is. That is some building. A lot of churches in this town. There's another one down there. The huge spire. And there's one right here. Grace Community Church. Here it says Bigelow Church. It's on the National Register, it says. Wow, built in 1858. Wow. I wouldn't have guessed that this is that old. Holy Redeemer Church. That is spectacular. Am I right? That is something. There's a big statue up there. Let's check out those domes on the top. A little Russian influence there. That is some kind of building. Well, let's check out some residential, shall we? I saw these two houses on the edge of town. I mean, like the very corner of town here, they have these two old houses. Not sure if anybody lives in them. I don't think so. Yeah, but those have been there a long time. You see the occasional house that could use some work, obviously. You're bound to see some of that with the pretty significant population loss. But I got to tell you, a lot of these houses look real nice. It's great architecture, isn't it? No cookie cutter here. A white picket fence. There are some beautiful houses here. Look at that one. And right next door. That one's tucked back a bit, isn't it? In this big stately house. I like this street. Oh, you guys see it, don't you? I knew I liked this street a lot. It's got a black cat. He just crossed my path. Am I going to be okay? I think I will be. This is what a lot of the town looks like. A lot of character, am I right? I like this town. Yeah, I mean, you see the occasional house that's clearly been abandoned. But there's not as many as I thought there would be. I'll be honest with you guys, I saw the numbers for this town, the low incomes and high poverty. I expected it to look pretty bad. Oh, and also, the pretty significant population loss. All that combined, yes, I expected it to look pretty bad, but this town looks overall pretty awesome. Well, okay. Got one more town to show you guys. Let's head in that direction right now. All right, everyone, I am in Ironton. Look at that beautiful building. That is amazing. Ironton or Ironton? I've been told both. Ironton and Ironton. I'm going to go with Ironton. I've heard that more. My apologies if it's not right. But anyway, let's talk about Ironton. Of course, the name is a contraction of the word Iron Town, and deservedly so. In the late 1800s, this town was one of the top producers of iron in the world. But not only did they produce iron, they produced what was considered the highest quality iron. And it was in huge demand the world over. A lot of foreign countries purchased iron from here. Russia, England, France used it to build their warships. The USS Monitor, the first ironclad ship, was made with iron produced here. Henry Ford used iron from here to build his cars. I was reading that most of this downtown is on the National Register as well. You can see some beautiful old buildings here. Ironton is the county seat of Lawrence County. There's the county courthouse. Built in 1907, it is still used as a county courthouse to this day. Neoclassical architecture. So it takes cues from ancient Rome and Greece. You can see the columns there. Anyway, back to Ironton and its iron production. The city prospered with all the iron that was being made here. And I was reading that the furnaces ran 24 hours a day trying to keep up. But, as is this story so often in this part of the country, the demand for iron decreased. It was replaced by steel. This town has never fully recovered. Now, the peak population of the town was in 1950. There were 16,000 people here. Today there's a little over 10,000. Like Portsmouth, there are a ton of churches here. This is the Episcopal Church. You can see some more up here in the distance. So we'll go take a look at them. But before we get there, we'll talk about football. Like Portsmouth, Ironton had a professional football team. In fact, they had one long before Portsmouth. They were organized in 1919. The team played from 1919 to 1930, then ran out of money. A lot of the players went up to Portsmouth and played with the Spartans. But this is the thing with the Ironton Tanks. They were one of the first teams to play on Thanksgiving. So when those players that ended up in Portsmouth ended up in Detroit, the owners of the Detroit team asked them, what do you think the best day to play football is? And those players said, we always had the biggest crowds on Thanksgiving. And so the tradition of Detroit playing on Thanksgiving was born. That's where that came from. I was always wondering that. You may have been too. That is the story behind Detroit always playing on Thanksgiving Day. I'm just looking at this church. First Methodist Church. That is something, isn't it? And look at this one down here. We'll go down there and take a look at that one. Yeah, so this is the St. Paul Lutheran Church. And across the street, there's this one. Wow, that is something, isn't it? St. Lawrence O'Toole. That's what it says on the front. Huh. That is a spectacular building. And just walk into a neighborhood that is quite beautiful. Wow. I'm just out on foot, just wandering around the downtown area. It's rather beautiful, and these homes, wow. Something else about this town I haven't told you yet, by the way. It's known for its Memorial Day parade. The first Memorial Day parade held in this town was in 1868, and it has been held every year since. It is the oldest continuously running Memorial Day parade in the United States, and the town is famous for it. Let's see, First Presbyterian Church. Wow. I'm a little surprised at the condition of it. Specifically the tower there. It is an incredibly beautiful building, but it needs a little TLC, doesn't it? There's a building here called Memorial Hall. Not sure what's going on here. It looks like it's been gutted. I think it's a military memorial of some sort. Maybe they plan on refurbishing it. Not sure, but yeah, it is in really bad condition right now. There's a little door here. Yeah, it's just full of trash now. I wonder why. I think I read somewhere this building is pretty old, built in the 1800s, mid 1800s. Yeah, I really hate to see this. But you always like to see this. Yep, that's a cat. 2 towns, 2 cats. Let's take another look in here. Wow. Huh. That's crazy. It's kind of strange they have a padlocked gate. But you can just walk in it in the back. Well, hopefully they'll do something with this in time. I love that awesome furniture sign. Furniture, Macaulay. Iron City Hardware Furniture. Well, as I meander through downtown here, let's check out the hard numbers. I already told you the population. 1950, a little over 16,000, a little over 10,000 now. So the town has lost pretty significant population. Median age is 42. That's a little higher than the U.S. The U.S. is 39. 54% of the town is female, 46% male. It's very similar to the last town. 95% of this town is white. 2% is black. 1% is Hispanic. 2% is mixed race. The median household income here is $38,700 a year. That is $744 a week. Poverty is 26%. Children 17 and under, 37%. Folks 65 and over, it's 18%. It's a great old theater. Looks like it's still in operation. Ironton Wizard Fest. Well, that you like to see. A lot of Christmas decorations in there. Cost of living here is 13% lower. Mostly because of housing. Housing's 47% lower. Transportation, like Portsmouth, is 24% higher. Interesting. Groceries are 1% higher. Healthcare is 2% higher. Those numbers are very similar. Portsmouth. Median home value here is $91,000. Crime in this town is extremely low. Latest report, 7 incidents per 1,000 people. That is a third of what the U.S. is. The U.S. is 23 per 1,000. They have 7. It's almost all property crime too. 6 of those 7 crimes were property crime, 1 violent crime. That is crazy low. Crazy low crime. It's impressive. Well, everyone, that's going to be the end of this video. We are heading into West Virginia. That's coming up next. We will see you there. And the church bells ring.